up, nerds and nerdettes, and we little nerdlings all? It's your buddy Big Johnny G, the Two Gun Fix-It presents Legendary Gaming.
Tabletop Takeout Tuesday. Thank you very much for joining me here, my friends. This is an episode every Tuesday where I like to talk about why I enjoyed a game. It's not a full review. It is some bullet points. Sometimes some big bullet points, but it is bullet points nonetheless of what it was that I found enjoyable. Why it keeps hitting my table. Now, today what I'd like to do is talk to you about a game that's rather strange, weird, odd. That's right up my alley. Between the art, between the style, the theme, this game really caught my attention, and once it hit the table, it continued to do so. So why don't you join me down at the table, and I'll tell you what it is that I liked about Don't Talk to Strangers. Thank you for joining me here. Now, this game, Don't Talk to Strangers, is a very tongue-in-cheek, fun kind of game, and that really drew me to it. Along with the art style that has inspired it, the Stephen Rhodes style of art, which is a very dark, fun poke at sort of early 50s and 60s children's PSAs. And the games that they've developed based on some of this artwork, such as this game, really take it to the next level with a little bit of the craziness. And that's something I've really come to like with this particular title. This little game surprised me with the amount of take that style gaming that it has. Now, I didn't go into buying this game, acquiring and getting this game because I was looking for another take that style game. This caught me by surprise, this element in it. But the way that you can manipulate, move the strangers, the aliens, when they're drawn and they have to come out, is a great way to steal potential points from the other players by having their children abducted. Adding that take that strategy into the game, and I wasn't expecting that, and it really plays out very well, I think. Now, besides using these strangers, right, to abduct kids, it's also really good to try to control the board. I like the way using the aliens to block certain paths and cause players, the kids, not to be able to go certain ways, and therefore exclude them from certain scoring options, unless they have a bicycle, or is it hopping fences, I think, right, also? There are a few ways to get around it, but generally, it's a great way to herd the other players. But remember, they're going to be doing that same thing to you, so you're going to get herded too. So it's a very back and forth strategy with the players because you're doing the same thing to each other. But it does work really fun trying to then maneuver your way around these stranger obstacles. I also like the fact that the game itself, the board is double-sided. And the reason for that is because of difficulty. Now, one side of the board is the easy, or at least easier, of the two sides, and that's because the other side uses more aliens. There are more spaces to put these strangers, so therefore there's more of them that are going to be in the game, and that is going to make it a little bit more difficult. Also, the way the board is set up does hinder movement a little bit in comparison to the way the, let's call it the A side, with just the easy side of the board does. It's a little bit easier to get around on that side than on the difficult side. So I like the fact that they did this to give you different difficulty settings based on nothing more than which side of the board you're playing on. The rules here to this game are very easy. They're very quick to get through. This book you're going to have read in a few moments. And it's going to be a very easy game to explain to others. I've been able to talk them through it within moments, and they understand the game. And that's very important, especially for such a small box game like this, because if it's going to be easy to travel with, you're going to want it to be easy to be taught and to be played. And this does that. So for a small box, fun little tongue-in-cheek game, it really has been hitting all the little check boxes of things that I enjoy in a game. Now, although this is part of a set of games that they came out with, a sort of box set trilogy, they're not interconnected in any ways. You can play one of these games that have nothing to do with the others. You can play them all together and they're still not going to have anything to do with each other. There's no overarching plot or storyline that you're going to find here. But the games are all very interesting. And this particular one really did catch my attention. I think this caught my attention first and foremost before the other ones is because of the one-player option. You know, over the last few years, I think we've seen how important a one-player option can be in a game. So when I do see a game that can play multiple players, or you could just sit down and solo your way through the game itself, I'm always very interested in. And also, games that you can solo are very good for learning the game. Because after you've soloed it a few times, you understand the rules, and it's easier to bring that game to the table and show it off and make sure that everyone is going to get it and understand the game. So there's a lot of little points that this little game definitely hits. And that's why it keeps hitting my table, and I keep wanting to show it off to anyone I can. And we're all having fun with this game. So if you're looking for something a little dark, but yet tongue-in-cheek at the same time, with some really fun throwback PSA-style art to it, then yeah, I definitely think that you're going to want to check out Don't Talk to Strangers.